What is up, guys? Welcome back here to Wiz Talk with Chase. I am your host, Chase Coburn, here with you today. We haven't had a lot of coverage in a while, but we're going to have a ton of coverage this month because, folks, it is June, and that means the Wizards are going to choose their future franchise player this month with the number one overall selection. I'm going to quickly break down what winning the lottery means for the Washington Wizards, what content you are going to see going forward, and what you should expect from the Washington Wizards as they officially close the door of the deconstruction and finally begin to construct and build the roster that Wizards fans are hoping will be the foundation going forward for a very, very successful tenure in the nation's capital. Hope you guys do enjoy. Please subscribe, follow, share, do what you need to do to keep up with the content. I first will say a lot of offseason coverage is in store. Next week, we're really going to break down maybe some trade rumors we've heard from the Washington Wizards. Then we're officially going to do a breakdown of should they trade the number one overall pick, what should they do with it, AJ Debonsa, Darren Peterson, a full breakdown there, what I've seen from Debonsa, what I've seen from Peterson, Boozer, all those guys. Maybe some interviews in there as well. Then, of course, we're going to have some coverage ahead of the day of the NBA draft. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. I want you guys to stay tuned because you're going to see a lot of Wizards coverage coming up as we really get to kickstart this new era of Wiz Talk with Chase, officially now on video platforms. But guys, we got to break it down. The Wizards finally received the first pick. And I got to say, as a suffering Wizards fan for so long, I mean, I've watched the Spencer Dinwiddie years of getting hyped up after a 10-3 start just to finish, 27-50, something like that, the rest of the way. Like, I have seen every iteration of just heartbreak for the Washington Wizards. Truly, every single iteration. And the fact that they finally received the first pick, I mean, guys, as a Wizards fan, we deserve this. They haven't won 60 games since 1975. They haven't won a championship since 1978. They haven't made a conference finals since 1979. They haven't been a top 3 seed in the East since 1979. They've won 3 playoff games in total since 2018. Only one since 2019. And, of course, the heartbreak they've received in the lottery. They were one lottery ball combination each time, one lottery ball away from Zion in 2019, Victor Wembanyama in 2023, and Cooper Flag in 2025. So I see a lot of fans saying, oh, my gosh, the 1 year the Wizards are officially the worst team. They finally get the number one pick. Yes, they deserve this more than anyone. They have experienced the heartbreak. And I've also heard so many people that say, it's just the Wizards, who cares, they're going to screw this up. And that ideology has probably ring true for the better part of the last 50 years. But I think things are finally different in D.C. They embraced the rebuild. They brought in the assistants from Oklahoma City's rise to dominance to help orchestrate that rebuild. And they not only inherited a mess, but in 3 seasons, I think are already creating a solid core for their future. In the 2024 draft, they had 3 first-round picks. We'll see what Bub Carrington is, but they drafted Alex Sarr at number 2 and Keyshawn George at number 24. Those would currently be 2 of the 3 best players in a redraft, most likely, for the 2024 class. So the drafting's been incredible. I think Trey Johnson's been great. I still think Bilal Coulibaly has a ton of potential. And then they turn Bradley Beal and Kyle Kuzma, 2 veterans on really awful contracts, turn them into Trae Young and Anthony Davis. And now they have the top pick to build alongside that core. You're either adding AJ Debonsa or Darren Peterson to that core. That's huge. And now when you look at the roster and you see Trae Young, Keyshawn George, AJ Debonsa, Anthony Davis, Alex Sarr, and then Trey Johnson, Bilal Coulibaly, Bub Carrington, Justin Champagnie, and Will Riley off the bench. This is assuming they don't have any veterans and that those guys stay. But you can't tell me with a year of development that this group can't compete for a play-in spot, a playoff spot next year, if those guys could stay somewhat healthy. And again, they haven't won 50 games since 1979. So yes, of course, this is relative, but I really do think things are looking up. And that is exciting for Wizards fans, and that shouldn't be diminished either. And the possibility of becoming the 2025 Pistons next season isn't a far-fetched idea, of going from the worst team in the NBA, but having the infrastructure and a strong core, adding some veterans, and going on to be in a 6 seed, win a playoff game or 2. I think that's a realistic expectation, considering as of right now, the Wizards' 2 best players are 2 veterans that have been key parts of playoff teams that have made runs in the playoffs, that have been the first or second player on those teams. So I think that's huge. Now, in terms of an offseason preview, we're going to have a very big offseason preview over the next few weeks. I think the Wizards have some very crucial decisions to make, right? What do you do with Anthony Davis? The rumors say he wants out. He also said he would suit up. Does Washington really hold the cards? Just a lot of ambiguity regarding Anthony Davis. Some extension talks. Trae Young and Bilal Coulibaly. My ideal starting backcourt in DC, if it was up to me next year, are both up for deals. How will those negotiations go? Are the Wizards going to give Bilal Coulibaly that Denny Avdia type contract? Is Trae Young going to stay around? I think he will, but those are conversations as well. And then, of course, the decision, what does DC do with the first pick? Is it Devonta or Peterson? Do you trade down? We're going to break that down as well. And then even some of the rumors that have been addressed. I've heard that the Wizards may want to make a run for Giannis to come to DC, for LeBron to come to DC. And I'm not saying those are realistic, but you got to break down what are the possibility that the Wizards go out and try to get another star and try to add to this core. Right? So I think the Wizards have their fair share of choices and decisions to make in the offseason. And we're going to have a full offseason breakdown showing where is this roster and the key conversation that the Wizards are going to need to have. And this may not even need to be this offseason. This can bleed into next year as well. But with all of these pieces and possibilities that I've talked about, the key thing is who is a part of this core. You got to make that dictation. You got to make that decision. Who is it? And that is the conversation we will have in the offseason right here on Wiz Talk with Chase. So I wanted to quickly get some thoughts down. The Wizards have won the lottery. They're in a good spot. But again, you're going to have a ton of coverage coming soon where we break down some of these storylines in depth as the Wizards begin to lay the foundation for the future of their franchise in the nation's capital. Hope you guys do enjoy. Please be sure to subscribe, guys. We really want to get a ton of content over here, and we don't want you guys to miss out. So please be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on so you don't miss any fun Wizards coverage coming up soon. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Signing off, I'm your host, Chase Coburn, saying so long from Wiz Talk with Chase. We'll see you soon.